Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle products that are friendly to your skin, and sometimes we talk about being gentle with yourself. And that's what today's video is. This is another episode in my skincare as self-care series. This is really about linking my two passions together and really allowing your skincare practices to go deeper. So today I want to share with you my process for using my skincare time to set intentions. It's kind of like an active meditation because it's really about going inwards, going deep, and really looking at what is working for you and maybe what's not in your life. You know, thinking about the things that you want to invite more of into your life and thinking about the things that aren't working that you're ready to release. It really is about taking this time because so often we don't give ourselves permission to perform deep self-care, right? But we do give ourselves permission. If you're watching this channel, you probably give yourself permission to perform skincare. So just kind of like clear the space. And I mean energetically shake off that anxiety and stress, right? And that tension. But I also mean like clearing the space of any distractions, if at all possible. No phones, no TV, no music, no nothing. You know, unless you listen to some like really relaxing like spa music, if that helps you, great. But just any type of thing that's going to take you out of the moment, try to eliminate that from your space. Just give yourself this time and this space for yourself. So I'm starting off with the liquid hydration from Geek and Gorgeous and layering on my toner. As I always say, you know, I'm always listening to my skin and kind of adjusting how much product I'm applying, how many layers I'm applying, you know, really according to what my skin is telling me in the moment. And throughout my skincare journey, I have realized that like that need can change from moment to moment. And that really reminds me of a greater kind of life lesson and a real intention that I want to set for, you know, my greater life, not just in skincare, but that is really listening to my gut instinct. I call it your internal compass because I feel like our society is kind of set up in a way that almost encourages us to ignore our gut instincts. It tells us to ignore that feeling or that little voice inside that says like, hey, this isn't right, or hey, we probably shouldn't do that, or something about this feels a little sketch, right? I think a lot of the way that our world is, it tells us to ignore that and just go with the flow, you know, go with the system. And sometimes that comes in direct like conflict with our gut instinct. And I will say, you know, of choices, you know, or decisions that I've made that I have regretted in my life, a lot of it does come down to ignoring my gut instinct. And that's actually like a life lesson that I've really kind of honed from skincare, but it's definitely an intention that I am trying to set every single day, because the more that I listen to my internal compass, the more that I allow my gut instinct to speak to me and to really, you know, guide the way whenever I'm feeling lost, whenever I'm feeling like I need to make a decision and I don't know what to do or what's my next step and what do I want to do going forward. Really honing that gut instinct, you get the right answer every single time. So now I'm applying Laneige Cream Skin Refiner, and one of the reasons I really like this product is because it's very comforting, it's very moisturizing on my skin, particularly during this winter season, which can be very harsh on my sensitive skin, making it feel very dry. And, you know, reflecting on that actually makes me think about the seasons itself. And I don't mean seasons as in weather, but I mean like the seasons of life. And understanding that life does go through seasons. You know, life is not meant to always be productive. Life is not always meant to be abundant. Sometimes there are sacrifice seasons, or even hibernation seasons. Like we always think about winter as like going into hibernation, right? And just getting cozy and just waiting it out till spring and summer. And that happens in life too. And I've been reflecting on this a lot lately, thinking about the seasons of life and that cycle that we all go through, and feeling like I've been sort of in like that sacrifice season for a really long time, kind of in that hustle mode, that go, go, go mode, that work, work, work mode, that, grind, get it done. And that has its place, but it's not serving me anymore. I got stuck. And now, moving a little bit more into maybe more of that abundance season, a little bit more of that like reaping, the benefits of all that hard work. So that's kind of what this product reminded me of, to kind of reflect on and kind of like think about that, hold that feeling in my mind of what season am I in right now? And is that the season I need to be in? Do I need to be in sacrifice season, or is it time to like press pause, rewind, backtrack? We're moving into a different season. So now I am using the Beauty of Joseon Glow Serum. This is niacinamide and propolis. And, I always talk about this product because it's so helpful when I am getting some little pimples coming up, because not only does it help to calm down the pimple with the propolis, this also has just a little hint of betaine salicylate, which is a gentler form of salicylic acid. It also helps to brighten up my skin, because often when I get a pimple, I get a dark mark. So I love that this product is helpful for those two things, but it's very gentle on my sensitive skin. And as I reflect on this particular part of my skincare routine, it really reminds me about patience. Patience is a virtue, is it not? And yet it's so stinking hard to be patient in this world. I struggle with it. I do. We live in a world where we can get anything on demand, and it's amazing. And I feel so grateful to live in this time right now, especially with the state of the world and where we're at right now, the ability to just have groceries delivered to your door, or you need a book or something and Amazon gets it to you in 2 days. That is like, let's not take that for granted. I am not like saying that's a bad thing at all, but I do think that over time it makes our ability to be patient, it wears it down so much. We become incredibly impatient because we're just so used to getting it so quickly. There are still things in life that take time. I think the last going on 3 years now, this whole era of a global pandemic, you have to be patient with this, right? Things are not going to go to plan. Things are going to take longer. Even like I'm talking about things coming to our door so quickly, even some of those things are not even coming as fast as they used to, right? That's what patience has taught me. That's what patience has taught me. Just shake it off. Go with the flow. Keep with your goals. Keep looking forward. Be patient. Know that it's going to take time. Bring in a little bit of your gut instinct and just trust the process. So now I'm applying the Cosrx Advanced Snail Hydrogel Eye Patches. So I'll tell you, eye patches are not a typical part of a kind of average skincare routine for me. And a big reason why, as I'll tell you, I usually just don't have time to do them. And I'm going to have to be like pushing them up as I talk, because they like to slide down my face a little bit. It's so easy to get caught up in the I don't have time, and we just rush through everything that we do, right? I am so guilty of this. It actually takes like a real conscious effort to slow down and be in the moment. And that's why I wanted to share this kind of like skincare reflection, almost like a internal meditation. Really taking that skincare routine that we all do, right? And really making it something special, really elevating the experience and really using it as an opportunity to connect more deeply with yourself and with your life and how things are going. And when I look at my skincare routine through that lens, right? Of wanting to reflect and go a little bit deeper. I'm like, why do I skip out on these things? Because I'm always telling myself I don't have time. And that feels true, but it's not really true. Because time is definitely a privilege. I would definitely say that. But I would also say that, like, we make time for the things that matter to us. And oftentimes we are able to make the time for things, but we actively choose not to because we don't allow ourselves permission to take that time. This is something that I've talked about on my channel a lot. This is something that I have been grappling with. And I think this is like really, truly something that the pandemic forced me to look at in my life. Because this era has been really difficult. And for a good majority of like 2020 and even into 2021, all I did was push, 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 push. Crazy stuff was happening in the world. It felt like the world was falling apart. And it was scary and it was intense and I was up at night. I had anxiety, I had racing thoughts. I had all of it. Just like you did, I'm sure. But instead of like letting myself feel that, or instead of letting myself deal with that without like letting that pass through me, I pushed it down and I kept going. Working, distracting myself really, I think. Which was useful for a while. I think sometimes pushing some of that stuff away and just distracting yourself with productive things is not a bad thing, but if you're stuck in that cycle, right, it's not going to serve you. And you get into this like mode of that, like the only thing that matters is productivity, right? And our world really does value that above everything else. And so actually taking time to do something for yourself that has no productivity behind it, that has no justification about its usefulness behind it, right, is hard. That's what I've been learning. And that's what these eye patches represent. It's about taking a little bit more time just because. I easily do this skincare routine without these eye patches, which I'm going to take off right now. These are really nice. They're super plumping, super nice. But could I get away with just a regular old eye cream? Yeah, I absolutely could. But I'm not going to. I'm going to give myself the permission to take the time. And it's a hard lesson, guys. Let me tell you, because I've been preaching about this, right? And I still find myself, depriving myself for no good reason. But it's just that, like, it's programmed into me, that like, oh, self-care is selfish. Right? Taking time for yourself with no justification behind it is selfish. A word that I am learning to not use right now is the word lazy. I'm going to be applying the Pyunkang Black Tea Time Reverse Eye Cream right now. Because for the longest time, when I was feeling tired, when I was just feeling like, what, I just want to take a nap, I would say to myself in my head, that little inner voice, like, oh, this is so lazy. No, it's not. It's not lazy, but that is just the conditioning that I have gotten throughout the years from this like work obsessed, productivity obsessed society that I live in. And I've taken that on so much. And a good work ethic is very valuable, but it can also go too far. And so learning that balance is really important. And not using words like that with yourself. Selfish. You're selfish for putting on those eye patches and taking that time. You're lazy for taking a nap in the middle of the day. No. Don't use those words with yourself. Don't use that language. Don't put that judgment on yourself. Like I said, listen to what your soul is asking. Give yourself radical permission to take time, to make time. Because oftentimes, that time only exists when we give it to ourselves. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. You've heard people say that before, right? It's kind of annoying, right? Because It is. It's just annoying because some people definitely are in a position to take more time for themselves. Absolutely. But it is important to know that you have to claim some of that time for yourself. You know, a lot of time we just give our time away. We don't even realize we're just giving it away to social media, to, you know, people who don't respect our boundaries, to workplaces that take advantage of us and our strong work ethics, right? So just know you are 100% allowed to claim time back for yourself. So now I'm mixing 1 pump of Stratia liquid gold with a couple drops of the ordinary chia seed oil. When I reflect on this skincare step, because it's really a step that I invented, right? I call it my barrier care step. And just because through my skincare journey, I have learned that if I'm always kind of building in the ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids into my skincare routines, my skin is less dehydrated, it's stronger, it's less sensitive, it's less prone to irritation. I would call it like my core philosophy, right? Because nothing else matters in skincare. This is according to me. Nothing else matters in skincare if your barrier is not healthy. And it actually reminds me to really take that philosophy, you know, outwards into the rest of my life. Barrier care into the rest of your life. But really my core philosophy, knowing what that is and sticking to it all the time. Because as I go through life, you know, there have been times where I have been tempted to kind of compromise my values or my core principles, you know, the things that I go back to time and time again. I have been tempted to break them, to go against them. And I'm sure you have too. You know, sometimes certain people or certain situations don't bring out the best in us. And sometimes it's hard to know when it's happening. But really finding out what your core values are and then sticking to them. No matter what anybody else says, no matter what else crosses your path, no matter what temptations, you know, you come across, always sticking to your core values. And, you know, it's going to be different for everybody. But, you know, a big core value of mine is just like trying to do my best in every situation. Just trying to do my best. Just trying to show up as the best version of myself whenever I can, wherever I can. Understanding that the best version of myself does change depending on how I'm feeling, depending on my health, you know, depending on how much sleep I've had, right? Having a little bit of forgiveness with myself when I felt like maybe I could have done better, but I didn't. I wanted to do better, but it was physically not possible, you know, but just kind of always trying to do my best in everything that I do. That's a core principle of mine. It's a simple one, but it's a powerful one. And it's one that has led me in the right direction. But there have been times where I haven't stuck to it. You know what I mean? And it's never turned out good. So just in the same way of treating my moisture barrier with respect and always building it into my skincare routines, knowing it's the very best thing for my skin and knowing that whenever that is taken care of, everything else is just so good with my skin. Knowing that, I can translate that into other parts of my life, knowing that like when I stick to my core values, everything else that comes out from that is so good. This is the Curel Intensive Moisture Cream, and I really like this one for winter time. This is a Japanese beauty product, and it's just like a really simple moisturizer. It's like very soothing and comforting, and it's very protective because it's got just that right amount of occlusivity. It's just a little step up more occlusive than what I normally tend to like, but it is very season appropriate for me right now. And so it really just kind of protects my skin from the elements while still not overwhelming it with too much thickness. It's just the right match for my skin. And you know, the protective quality of this moisturizer is kind of what I want to reflect on in this skincare meditation. When I think of the word protection, I think what first comes to mind is protect your energy. I hear a lot of people talking about this recently, and I think it's a good thing, but I also think that it's easy to misinterpret it, because sometimes when I hear people talking about, I need to protect my energy and I have to put up my boundaries, it sounds like they're closing themselves off. And I get that. Like, I'm an introvert, so sometimes like, no, please, I need to protect my energy. Makes a lot of sense to me and is necessary sometimes, but it's really about communicating to people how you want to be treated. You know, and I think the place that I learned this the most is in my working life, in my professional life, especially in my like mid-20s when I was working in an office, like my first real like career job, you know. That was definitely a huge learning curve when it came to boundaries, because I really didn't have any. I was definitely the person who was like, I will do anything. I will do the best that I possibly can. I will do all the work. I will stay late. Whatever you ask me to do, I will do it. Like, I will do it. And I'm definitely that person. Like I said, I always want to do my best, right? I didn't realize at the time what I was truly communicating to people was that I will do all the work. I will stay late. And then when people gave me all the work and made me stay late, I resented it. Because truly, at my core, that is not what I wanted. I wanted to do a good job, but I didn't necessarily want to do all the work. By having no boundaries, I had communicated to them that that's what I wanted. And it wasn't. It took me a really long time to learn this. I'm still learning this. I'm still refining this. But I will say, once I've had awareness about, first and foremost, protecting my energy, knowing that my energy was getting depleted at work, trying to figure out why, then realizing it's because I had no boundaries. That was a journey in and of itself. But having the awareness of that, of the awareness of where my boundaries are or are not, and then where they need to be in order to protect my energy, you know, in order to keep my cup full, in order to keep showing up, doing my best every single time while still protecting my energy with boundaries. That is a lesson I'm still learning, but I will tell you, as I've been implementing this, right, it's so much better. It's so much better. So that's how I do my skincare meditation intention setting session. That's how I do it. And what I really did here is I just took my time. You know, I took out all the distractions and I really let the products that I chose guide me. You can focus in on one thing. You can kind of free flow like I did. You can structure it more if you want to. You can play music, whatever works for you. Really, what I want you to take away from this is whatever works for you from this situation. I just want you to take the time. I just want you to take the time you would normally already take for yourself. Spread it out a little bit. The delicious time. Be present in your skincare. And let it kind of help you reflect. Let it help you think about what's working in your life. What do you want to invite into your life? But also even what isn't working in your life? What do you need to let go of? Take that time. Give yourself the permission. Make the time because you're worth it. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was and you're not subscribed to my channel already, please consider hitting subscribe and turning on notifications for more videos just like this. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.